Hello, this is Dr. Masood Al-Reddy. Good morning. This session for second BTech, first sem EEE students. Subject is basic electrical circuits. And Unit 1, which contains electrical circuits and magnetic circuits. But in this topics are types of sources, ideal and practical voltage source, ideal and practical current source transformation, pitch of voltage law, pitch of current law. Already I covered one session of the video, the introduction of electrical circuits as well as types of elements and detailed study about the passive elements I covered in the earlier video. In this video, I cover the active elements are called as the sources. So what is the active element? The element which always gives energy to other elements connected in the electrical circuit are called as active elements. The elements are examples of these active elements sources. There are two types of sources are available in the nature. Those are voltage source as well as current source. Again, these voltage and current sources are classified based on the behavior are of two types. Those are, first number one is independent, number two is dependent source. So talk together what is the voltage source and what is the current source and what is the dependent. These, first of all, I'll clarify what is the independent. Independent source are the sources which always gives a constant magnitude of voltage or current in the circuit, even though any change in the electrical parameters of the electrical circuit which does not change is called as independent sources. I'll repeat again. The independent sources are the sources which always gives a constant magnitude of voltage or current. Example, if it is a single phase voltage which always gives 230 volts, even though if any change in the current due to the tube light, or if any change in the current due to the fan, or if any change in the current due to the TV will not respond, which always gives the 230 volts only. Such a type of sources are called as independent sources. How to represent these independent sources? These represent with circuit. So I will show that independent. What is the voltage source? Independent. This is about independent voltage source, and this is about independent. And voltage source is represented with plus and minus, and current source is represented with arrow mark. Arrow mark represents in which direction the current flows. It is represented with letters I. E are not shown here. So this is about this. Then we'll come back to the next. What is the dependent source? The dependent sources are the sources with their magnitude of voltage or current changes with respect to if any change in the magnitude of load in case of electrical circuit is called as dependent sources. Example, we'll take as a one power electronic kit. In that power electronic kit, we connect a dependent source. If any change in due to the thyristor current, the magnitude of the voltage source is also changes as per the requirement of change in the current of thyristor. Meaning that which does not give constant magnitude, which depends on how the change in the electrical parameters in the circuit, which it depends. So is called as a dependent sources. these dependent sources are represented with the diamond shape. So therefore, there are two types of dependent sources: voltage dependent source, current dependent source. So this is about dependent voltage source and dependent current. It is represented with a diamond shape, and plus and minus is a voltage source, arrow represented as a current source. Then we'll come back to this. We want to discuss thoroughly about the voltage source, but independent. So how to represent independent is a circle. Then what is this type of source? Voltage. So you are represented with plus and minus. Then we'll come back. What is the meaning of practical? Every practical source should contain internal resistance, but it depends on the type of source. It may connect in series or it may connect in parallel, how we will see in this voltage source. See here, this figure represented as a practical voltage source. This figure represents performance or characteristics of practical voltage source. Here you see here, this is the independent source, voltage source is represented with plus and minus. This RS is an internal resistance. When we connect together, is called as a practical. So this internal resistance should be very, very small value. Why? As per KVL, you know that KVL, algebraic sum of voltage and voltage drops in a closed loop, should be equal to 0. I'll explain in the future what is the KVL. So here, this as per KVL, this output voltage should be equal to Vs minus I into Rs. We apply this KVL, we get into the solution. Please. So V is equal to Vs minus I into Rs. Here, if we consider this internal resistance is very, very low value, for example, 0.001, then I, for example, 1 ampere, 1 into 0.001. If, for example, 10 into 0.001, we are getting 0.01. So therefore, even 100, 0.1. So we can neglect that much of current will go to the load also. Due to this internal resistance, there is no effect of output voltage. The output voltage should be as near as possible to the source voltage, but always this voltage should be lesser than this source voltage because of this internal resistance. That shows with the help of this practical curve. So this line represented as a internal resistance should not be considered. It should be equal to 0. So therefore V is equal to Vs. If you consider this internal resistance, if it is low value, this is the drop. If it is some little more, this is the drop. Some little more, this is the drop. Some little more, this is the drop. If the internal resistance is more, so this is the voltage drop. So like this line represented as a output voltage line, it depends on the magnitude of internal resistance. So we should be considered the low magnitude of internal resistance to maintain the output voltage should be near to as possible as source voltage. So that is about this. So summary, any practical voltage source contain internal resistance, it should be connected in series with this. Because of this internal resistance, the output voltage is always lesser than this input voltage, but should maintain a small value, then very less effective. Then we'll come back to the independent ideal. So what is the independent ideal voltage source? Very simple here. The internal resistance of ideal voltage source is 0, meaning that the RS value should be equal to 0. That is therefore, if the resistance is 0, then what to do that resistance? That internal resistance is replaced by short circuit. Therefore, as per KVL, always this V is equal to VAB, meaning that the output voltage, the load voltage should be equal to the source voltage. So there is no drop, there is no voltage drop. So therefore, this figure represents the characteristics of ideal voltage source. Always it maintained as a constant line. This line is indicated as a V is equal to VAB. Therefore, VRL is nothing but the load voltage across the load, and this V is the source. independent ideal voltage source. Then we'll come back to the independent practical current source. In this independent practical current source also contain this independent is represented with a circle, current source is represented with the arrow, and the internal resistance is represented with the RS value is in parallel with the current source. But this magnitude of internal resistance should be very high. Why? To maintain the output current should be as desired or as equal to the source current. Otherwise, if the internal resistance, if maintained as a low value, the output current is very, very less value when we compare with this IS value. So, the output current always should be lesser than the source current. Why? Because so, therefore, the current flow through load is always less than the source current. As per KCL, we'll come back to this, why it is maintained, the output current is always less than the source current. You can understood as per KCL, I is equal to this IS minus IRS. IRS, you know that, what is the current? Voltage by resistance, V by RS. If RS is a very, very small value, 0.001, then what is this IRS? 1000. Therefore, I is equal to IS minus 1000. What is this value? Negligible, 0, approximately 0. So, you are not getting. So, if you maintain decrease, for example, 100, 1 by 100, 0.01, 1 by 10, 0.1, 1 by 0.01, 100. So, like this. So, therefore, if it is 1 by 100, 0.001. So, therefore, IS minus 0.01, we can neglect. 1 by 0.01, 100. So 0.01 is better or 100 is better? 100 is better. So, this RS should be maintained as a maximum value of high value of resistance. Then only we can maintain this current should be as equal to, approximately equal to, not exactly, approximately equal to the source current. For example, source current is 10, so the load current may be 9.5 or 9.7. So with the help of this, we never get into the load current should be equal to the source current in practical case. So this is about practical current source. This is a representation of the characteristics. I is load current. Then we'll come back to this transformation of the sources. So first we consider voltage to current source transformation. See here, this is represented as a voltage source. Already I told you, voltage source is always containing the internal resistance. But in this figure, we consider the practical values, the algebraic values of this 20 volts of source, 5 ohms of internal resistance. Therefore, Vs is equal to convert this voltage to current, we should follow the steps. The first step is first evaluate the current magnitude I. So what is the formula for I? Voltage by resistance. Therefore, Is is equal to Vs by Rs. So therefore, here 20 by 5, 4 amperes. So this is about. We consider a circle as represented as an independent source, and we represent an arrow mark to replace as a voltage source as a current source. We want to represent as a current source, we should represent with the arrow mark. So this is an equivalent of current source. Then the second step, the same magnitude of internal resistance of the voltage source should be considered, but that resistance should be connected in parallel with current source. So see here, this is the 5 ohm, the same magnitude of 5 ohm also we are connected here. So this represented as a conversion of converted current source. So redraw the voltage to current conversion circuit as shown above. So this is the equivalent magnitude of current source. This is the 4 amperes. This is the same magnitude of internal resistance containing in voltage source should be considered. So in current source also. So this is about, therefore Is is equal to Vs by Rs, and Rs is 5. So this is about source transformation from voltage to current. Similarly, independent ideal current. define about this, what is the ideal current source. Here we remember the internal resistance of ideal current source is infinity. So whenever the internal resistance is infinity, I is equal to V by R, anything by infinity is become as a zero. Therefore, current is zero. In which circuit current is zero? Open circuit. So therefore, the internal resistance, that RS should be open. We are not connected here RS. Practical current source should contain internal resistance here. In the earlier slide, we've seen that what is the internal resistance. Why we are removing this internal resistance? Because why you are removing this resistance? Because the internal resistance of ideal current source is infinity. So we are replacing that internal resistance replaced by open circuit. Therefore, the source current should be equal to load current. IL is equal to I. So this is the representation of ideal current source. So then this is about this. Then we continue with the source transformation again. So current to voltage. So this is a current source, a practical current source. We want to convert it into the voltage source. How? We'll go through these steps. Then we'll come back to here. This current source should contain internal resistance, but is connected in parallel with source. Here also we considered 10 amperes of the source and 3 ohms of the internal resistance. Now we follow the steps. The step 1, evaluate the voltage magnitude. What is the formula for V? I into RS. Therefore, 10 into 3, 30 volts will be considered as a independent voltage source, is represented with a circle, and plus and minus is represented as a voltage source. The magnitude is Vs, that should be equal to 30 volts. Then second step, step 2, the same magnitude of internal resistance in current source should be considered and connected, but in series with the practical voltage source. So this is the second step, and redraw the practical current source into a practical voltage source. This is the converted voltage source. So this is the converted voltage source. Here, this is the V and this is RS. V should be equal to I into R, 30 volts, and RS is equal to 3 volts. So VS, this is about the source transformation from current to voltage. Then we want to discuss about Kirchhoff law. There are two types of Kirchhoff laws, Kirchhoff voltage law and Kirchhoff law. Before we entered into these laws, why we go for study about Kirchhoff? To determine the value of the total magnitude of voltage or individual voltage drop across any elements connected, can be able to determine using this Kirchhoff laws. And again, we want to calculate what is the magnitude of total current in the circuit and what is the magnitude of current, individual current flow through the elements. We can able to calculate with the help of Kirchhoff laws only. So Kirchhoff voltage law can be applicable to know nodal voltage, nodal current, whereas Kirchhoff current law is applicable to know branch voltage. We'll follow that. First, we start with this Kirchhoff voltage. What is this Kirchhoff voltage law? What is the definition? The algebraic sum of voltages and voltage drops in a closed loop should be equal to 0. The algebraic sum of voltage drops is nothing but the elements are connected, maybe resistor or inductor or maybe the capacitors. The voltage drop across resistor, inductor or capacitor should be considered as should be equal to 0. That another way, there is another way. The algebraic sum of voltage rises should be equal to the algebraic sum of voltage drops should be equal. Or the algebraic sum of voltage rises and voltage drops in a closed loop should be equal to 0. So this is also way to see that what is the voltage and what is the voltage drop. This is the voltage, this is the voltage drop. Voltages always rises and voltage drops are always Voltage drops is always drops. So that is about this voltage rise should be equal to voltage drops, or voltage rise and drops all together we consider should be equal to 0. And before we coming into that, we should know about this how we are placing the positive sign and negative sign. Whenever the current enters, where the current enters, at that element, that side of the element should be considered as positive. Where the current leaves, that side of the element should be considered as negative. So that is the way we should be connect, we should be make as positive and negative sign for any type of element. Positive sign indicates as current entering, negative sign indicated as current leaving. So we remember that here current enters, current leaves, current enters, current leaves, current enters, current leaves. Here also current leaves, current enters. So like this. So we are representing this. So this is about the Kirchhoff voltage law. So here you see that algebraic sum of voltage rise. Example will be considered here. Algebraic sum of voltage drop. Voltage rise should be considered as a source voltage, which is equal to 10 volts. Voltage drop considered as a 3 resistance are to be taken. So here voltage drop across first resistor 4 volts, second resistor 4 volts, third resistor 2 volts. Therefore, algebraic sum 4 plus 4 plus 2. So 10 is equal to 4 plus 4, 8 plus 2, 10 volts. So this is about this. Or 10 minus 10, which should be equal to 0. Algebraic sum of voltages and voltage drop should be equal to 0. So like this, you can understood that what is the Kirchhoff voltage law. Then we'll continue with another Kirchhoff law. So here, what is the definition? How to take as an example of consideration. The algebraic sum of all the currents at a node should be equal to 0. Or another way, the algebraic sum of entering currents at a node should be equal to leaving currents. I told you what is the entering and what is the leaving. Current enters positive, the current leaves negative. So if it is positive sign indicated as the entering, if it is a negative sign indicated as a leaving. So like this, you can understand that how entering and leaving. See here, we consider one example. This O is indicated as a node. Here I1 is entering, I2 is entering, I3 is leaving, I4 is leaving, I5 is leaving. So like this, we have the 5 branches of the currents meeting at a node, And as per KCL, how to write the equation for this 5 branches in terms of the current that represented as the Kirchhoff law. That is the definition of this Kirchhoff law. The algebraic sum of all the currents at a node should be equal to 0, or the algebraic sum of entering current at a node should be equal to algebraic sum of leaving currents at the same node. So we'll take here. So first, as per first definition, I1 plus I2, and I3 is negative sign. Why? Because leaving the current negative. Already told you where the leaving the current negative side, and I4. What about this? Leaving the current, therefore minus sign. What about this I5? Leaving the current, therefore minus. Entering positive, therefore I1, I2 are entering plus plus. So then is equal to 0. Or other definition, entering current should be equal to leaving current. What are the entering currents? What are the entering currents here? So here we'll go to this. Entering currents are here. Entering currents are here. I1, I2, leaving currents I3, I4, I5. So therefore, I1 plus I2 is equal to I3 plus I4 plus I5. So this is about so with this, I stop this session. Stay at home. Stay safe. Thank you. Thank you to all.